Tune in every Tuesday at 9 p.m. for Nightcap Knowledge. Put the children to bed, get your adult beverage, and get ready. Nightcap Knowledge is rated Black and Uncensored and hosted by longtime community organizer and entertainment professionals Mr. Mac and DJ George Chuck. Real talk, real issues, real solutions. Nightcap Knowledge on Facebook, IG, and Twitter. Tune in and share.
Black with no chaser.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. It's time for Nightcap Knowledge. You heard the man. You heard Mr. Mac. Go ahead, get the nightcap, put the kids to bed. It's time for real talk, real solutions. Hey, man, I'm playing with some new equipment over here, and I think I'm liking it, man. I got some new equipment. So y'all bear with us as we get everything tuned up tonight, and we're looking for a good time. We are talking a number of things, and as always, you know it will be a real conversation, real problems, real solutions. All about the solutions, man. So let's get it. Tonight we'll be joined by Cirilo Manego. Y'all saw the man. He was on the ground zero on site when the siege of Capitol Hill happened. Of course, Mr. Mac will be doing his mental health minute, and then we'll do a recap of all the things that we did this weekend with Mississippi Move. It is Nightcap Knowledge.
Black with no chaser.
Mr. Mac, what's up, man? Hey, man, you got to unmute yourself, dog.
I got it.
There you go.
I didn't want y'all to hear me clear my throat while I was getting ready. You know, sound like one of them old deacons when they get ready to do the announcement.
Hey, what's the? I know you're a blues aficionado, man. What's the blues singing they used to do?
Oh, you talking about Bobby Blue Bland?
Bobby Blue Band, man. Look,
the world's greatest blues singer.
That man right there. That man. I can't play none of his music because Facebook be hating.
They hate, super hate. But you know who we're gonna have to get on here? Mr. Bad Bobby Rush.
Bobby Rush. We got to get Bobby Rush on him.
We got to get him on, man. He is one of the, if not the only real true blues musician, someone that has played and traveled with folks like B.B. King, Bobby Bland, Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf. I'm talking about this man is a walking, living blues history book. So we definitely got to get that brother on. But we're going to get into the show, reminding everybody that tonight, this show is rated Black and Uncensored. So understand that. There will be no apologies made. We are going to come to you with real talk, real issues, and real solutions right here on Nightcap Knowledge. We try to bring things to the table that we need to discuss, to talk about some of the problems in the African-American community, talking about our social disparities and things that we can do to help change the outcomes and just call things just like a TI is. So,
and y'all let us know if you're out there right now in the comments. Make sure you share this live. We got a very good guest on tonight. We got a good topic, a good number of topics. So we want to make sure that we're a good audience for tonight and make sure that we sound good, we look good and all of that, man. We've been, working out our back end issues, making sure that we've got things that we can improve the show at all times, man. And Mac, I see you pulling on your shirt over there.
Yeah, man. I got this old throwback shirt I had to break out. I think it was the right shirt for the occasion for the night. The top of it said, "Them hands, my brother, them hands."
How long you had that shirt, man?
I've had this shirt for a few years there, brother. The guy that made this shirt did a good job on it. It's a good quality t-shirt for one, but I think how he laid the letters on, it definitely did a good job. So if you see this guy, tell him, he did a good job on his t-shirt.
Well, yeah, we definitely want to make sure that we congratulate those folks that are providing, high quality things for everybody out there. And if you want to get one of those shirts, you can head on over to blackwithnochaser.com and just click on shop, and you can get your Dem Hands University t-shirt, hoodie, and a number of other items right there at the Black with No Chaser shop. So Mac, I think we've got to check in and we got to figure out what we drinking tonight, man. What you sipping?
I don't know, brother. I don't know. I've killed the Macallan Gold. I got some Macallan 12, Glenlivet 12.
Yeah.
Got some Uncle Nearest Got some Old Faithful, that old blackjack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you drinking?
I went how long?
How
I
long?
went to the stash, man, and it's
Wait a minute now.
you know,
You can't be going to the stash. What you got?
I mean, look, I was just running low.
So
And this is something it's a 10-year.
yeah.
Was it a Ben Reich? It's a
Oh, okay. Single
single malt.
malt. Right.
Yeah,
10 year.
10-year.
Well, shit. Well, look, if we doing single malt, then I'm gonna jump in with the Glenlivet then.
We're gonna jump in with it, man.
All right, this is my birthday bottle, so I'm gonna try to make it last to my next birthday.
I've made this one last. Justin. Just shout out to one of my neos, Justin Simmons.
You see what
2006.
I said?
I see. Yeah, make it last to your next birthday.
Yeah. September, and it's just January. Yeah, I need to. I'm gonna put this bottle up.
I don't know if you're gonna make it. I've had this one for a while. I'm
gonna sip on it.
Yeah, I've done well with this one. He gave this one to me, man. I think like at one of the Royal Salon reunions.
Okay.
I've done well with sipping easy on it and pulling it out for special occasions. That's what she said.
Yeah.
And,
Touche.
You see, I got the little buttons over here.
I see you got the. Oh man, they didn't mess around. You about to mess up the church's money. You about to mess it up.
No, man, look. But yeah, we having fun, man. This is Nightcap Knowledge. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for everybody in the comments. We appreciate each and every one of you. We'll be bringing our guest on around 9:15. And as we prepare for our guest, we've already done the what you're drinking. The topics, Matt. Go ahead and run through the topics and then hit them with the mental health minute.
So nobody needs to be updated. And we understand what has happened on January 6th. So the title of the topic one will be "The Hate You Give, Thug." We're describing the attack on Capitol Hill. And then the second topic for the night will be one country, two worlds, two different worlds, right? So we're going to go more in depth in explaining what we're talking about with that. But it's definitely something that's significant to us. What we're seeing that's going on, not only on national news, but even in your own community, depending on where you live at, it might be more often than not. But we definitely want to highlight those comments. And we do have a brother that was braving the storm on the 6th that was there on the ground that can bring a lot of light to the stories and tell you what he saw firsthand, not what he heard, but what he saw. So we definitely want us to be prepared mentally, but also prepared physically for what's transpiring in our community. Let folks sell us no dream. We need to be ready. So that's pretty much the lineup, as we get ready for the show.
Yeah. Well, look, all right, that's the lineup. You know what it is. It's Nightcap Knowledge. Mr. Mac, DJ George, Chuck, we are here with you. Mac, go ahead and hit us with that mental health minute.
Mental health minute. So as you know, we talked about last week, we lost two fraternity brothers from our chapter. Two good brothers. Highlight the name for brother Johnny Daniels and brother Eric Foster. Definitely will be missed. They are now members of the Omega chapter. Ceremony and services was performed. We definitely were going to miss these brothers. So we're talking about with the pandemic, a lot of us, especially in the African-American culture, we have dealt with different things by gathering and socializing together. And so now, from what I'm seeing and hearing, that the grief depression is at an all-time high. Where the mourning process is not as norm, where you can be able to fellowship, where you shouldn't be due to COVID, right? Because some of the deaths that we saw that has happened were due to COVID. And the ironic thing is some people end up contracting COVID by attending funerals and doing just that. Right. So, right now the grief depression is at all-time high. The life as you know it is different. So not only you're dealing with a pandemic, you're dealing with a system of systematic oppression that's happening in numerous communities, but you're seeing what happening on national news. And it's starting to make some people feel like there's no hope. So we want people to understand that, listen, that this day might be seen to be dark, but there will be light. You have to count your blessings and find therapeutic ways to be able to help you deal with this depression, because depression is real, especially grief depression. It's something that you cannot turn around for the reason that you are feeling the way you're feeling. We actually find support systems, start chat groups, start Zoom calls, be able, find therapeutic ways to get out the house, meditation, find out what works for you. and then the person that is on your mind, think about what they would want you to be doing right now. And if they will want you to be happy, they will want you to be feeling good. They will want you to enjoy your life, and definitely carry on their name and memory in a great way. So, so find different ways to bring light to darkness as we start to address some of the other issues that we see in our community. But those are some things I know from talking to people that they have done when they've been dealing with grief, depression, and you had to find out what works for you.
Yeah, man, you're right. Dealing with grief is a thing that shows up differently depending on the person. So you got to know what to do and what works for you, but it also needs to be something that's healthy. And then us not being able to, as you said, to fellowship, we are communal people. To fellowship after someone, passes away has taken one of those things that we would usually do to grieve out of the equation. So you make a good point, man, and you give some good tips on how folks can manage in these unfamiliar times that have become very, very familiar over the past 10 months. So, Matt, we appreciate that mental health minute. And look, we was pretty busy over the weekend with all of the Mississippi Move activities, man. We did what, like 3, 4, 5, 6 voter registration drives in the January ain't over yet.
We did it in the weekend, starting with you on that, I think, Friday, and then we wound up. I think Sabir might have done the last one, maybe Sunday. But we know what we were pushing is something that's different. We want to do a voter registration party, and we're going to put more energy behind it for February. I think we should just do like our main areas for Gulfport, Hattiesburg, and Jackson. Do one once a month, and then also in between time finding another location to go to that's in the area to do a voter registration drive.
I'm just going.
Yeah, you go to Biloxi, Gulfport. That's in your area. But the thing is letting people know that when they turn 18, they can come to this place and it's a party. We're excited for you. You know what I'm saying? We want you to come in, and we're going to have music going. We're going to have food, and you get to register to vote, take pictures, and feel proud that you have become now a responsible adult that will be casting your ballot to choose our next leadership.
That's right, man. That's right. So be looking out for the upcoming Mississippi Move voter registration parties. It's monthly. So, all of the folks that's, into the I'm a Sagittarius, so I don't know any of these other signs.
Hey, watch yourself.
The people that aren't born in November, I have no idea. Early December, the latter part of November, everybody else don't really matter. But I'm just saying we're gonna do a party for y'all anyway.
Aren't you married to a Virgo?
Yeah, man. Her birthday matters because she married to me.
Yeah, hey, all right. What happened to Chuck? I don't know.
If I don't show up tomorrow, y'all know what happened.
I ain't in it.
To the hospital for injuries.
Right, you tripped and fell down the stairs that you do not have at your house.
Unknown cause, man. But look, we got an awesome guest coming in.
Let's get it going.
Yeah, man. Look, this brother, he didn't go to Tougaloo, but man, hey. I can't take nothing away from him. He's an awesome guy. And he a baseball player, man. So, he came up on the red dirt and the diamond, and he went to a pretty illustrious HBCU, man. We're going to bring in the CIO, the Chief Innovative Officer for Black with No Chaser, Mr. Cirilo Manego. Y'all give it up for the man as he
man, he didn't get the applause.
Hey, but hey, I ain't playing over here. I got some new toys. I've been working.
Shit.
I've been on the. Hey, I just hit 245 on y'all, baby.
We were not ready for that at all.
Hey, man. Boy, you kicks, man. I'm over here like not the round of applause, man. Don't do me like that, man. Don't do me like that.
Hey, man. Hey, you better be glad I give you the rim shot. Hey, look, hey, but I'm finna be loading all these little banks up, man. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready. Wait till somebody say something that ain't cool.
Come on,
We're gonna
man.
give him the
Come
crickets and
on,
everything. Rilo, what's up, man?
Hey, you
Man,
can't get Chuck no toys, man. You cannot do
bruh,
that.
I'm good, man. You know what's crazy? Just before I got on this call, right? You see the sweater that I got on, it says support black colleges. I mean, everybody follows the account. Chris Paul has been seen wearing it. The entertainers around the world, like, it's nuts, right? I don't know if it's a white guy, because honestly, it's hard to tell because his account is, it's private, and also he has a weird abbey, like a road or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, what if and this is a good way to start the show, right? He said, what if I, right, had a shirt or sweater that said support white? I said, hold on. I said, wait a second. You missed the other half. It says support black colleges. Then he goes, oh, word, dope. He was like, so what if I had a shirt that said advocating for, he said, I'm from East Ohio, and he said it's poor out here. And he said that, well, what if I had a shirt or sweater that says support white colleges?
Mm-hmm.
What y'all think about that?
Hold on.
That's
hold up. But it said, what if he had a shirt that says support? I mean, you can make, all right, so politically correct answer. You make whatever shirt you want to make. That don't mean it's the right shirt.
Now, I asked a few questions because I don't like educating people like that. I feel like seeking that kind of knowledge brings you to a different point as opposed to me giving it to you, right? So I don't believe in we can talk about civic engagement work, how we gonna organize salient issues for our communities, and I ain't got all the answers. I could be wrong. You could ask some other folks on the other side of town, and they topic issues could be totally different, right?
Yeah.
But nevertheless, though, we can have a discussion about that, is what I'm saying. What we're not going to discuss is why I can have this hoodie on, and then you can't have on a hoodie that for damn sure says support white, but for damn sure not saying support some white college. Because we already, first of all, we would need black colleges, but for racism. So let's just start there.
Yeah.
We wouldn't even have this conversation, right?
So that's me. That's me just saying, like, hey, buddy, look, you can do whatever hell you want to do, but you ain't finna tell me what to do over here. I ain't coming over there to tell you what to do. Stay the hell out my business. So
yeah, man, it's been interesting because part of the reason why I'm here is I guess to talk more about what happened at the Capitol. Since then, life has changed a little bit. Not for me in terms of like who I am as a person and what I stand for, but the following, right? I mean, it just brought in like all kind of people, a lot of supporters, a ton of supporters, and it's been dope, man. Honestly, the love has been real. I thought when it went out there, I would assume there's going to be a whole lot more negative and toxic, bro. But the love around the world has been insane. But you do have folks, that will jump in your DMs and will also try to troll people in the comments. And so that's just the way of life, and it is what it is. But yeah, man, all is well though, bro. All is well.
Man, that's what's up, man. So look, Mac, I know you got some questions. I want to I talk to Cirilo quite often. So I want to let you jump in with some questions, and then we'll bring in some other folks in just a moment.
Okay. For the first thing I saw the video, I said, I'm looking at it. I said, I think I know that guy. I'm like, I've seen him. Hey, that's, and I was like, oh shit, he's there. So I definitely want to know after the camera or after that part of the video I saw, what happened. So, what all saw take place. And of course, we seen how things transpired throughout the day. It was a whole shitstorm. So, of course, now you think like, I hope the brother, was in a good spot, because we seen the whole video with the sister standing there in the middle of the crowd, and the white lady reach over there and grab her face, and then she busts her shit, So we were like, oh, it's really getting crazy. So I guess one question I would ask is, what made you attend? Just say, I'm going after this. I think a lot of people might not know that you live in DC. So what made you just say, hey, you know what? I'm going after this shit. I'm going to see what the hell going on.
I mean, to be real with you, typically speaking here in DC, man, we always, at least me, I try to get out to almost every single thing happening in DC. It's the nation's capital. I feel like I'm very fortunate to be here. It's a privilege to be here in the nation's capital, to be able to afford to live here, because a lot of folks can't. And I think part of my duty and just to being out here in these streets, and then also at the same time, man, they were literally down the street from my crib, like literally down the street. So for me, you damn near in my backyard. And if you're in my backyard making all that goddamn noise, at some point, we got to address on why you making all this noise. at the same time, though, I want to make sure that Black people out there represented in a real way, not because we need to be there, but I think that just for the sheer purpose of like letting people know, like you really don't want no smoke, and if you did, I'm here. Here we are. Here I'm right here standing in front of your face, and I went out there for a little bit, bro, and before that, it was. I tell you what though, some of them white men out there look really scary. Like I mean, like it's something you can see in their eyes that's a
They
little
evil.
bit different. Like for real,
Yeah.
like another kind of evil. Like they got people that be
Yeah.
bad,
Yeah.
but it's a different kind of hate that I
Like
saw
demon,
there.
demonic,
That
like demonic. Yeah.
yeah, that I never really actually seen face to face in my life
Yeah.
before. So that was the real big difference of like the type of folk that showed up on the Capitol steps on Wednesday, January 6th.
So what was going through your mind, man, when you saw that shit? Like this is a whole nother reality, another world.
I was just like, honestly, borderline speeches when you walking up because you're like, yo, they really out here. I mean, like they out here, like
Yeah.
shirts off. We like people in old folk.
Sure.
It's crazy because I see somebody he had to be 95 in a wheelchair holding a Trump flag. Boom. And so it made me think. I was like, man, that's a lot of generations brainwashed into thinking that they're superior beings over people because of the color of their skin. You know what I mean? It's like it ran through my head. I was like, damn. Like every time I see that, and I see that it's probably the son, and it's probably some sons and daughters, nieces and nephews, and some cousins,
Yeah.
right? And then this like
Right.
weird snowflake model of like confused ideology on like why they subscribe to what they subscribe to
Okay.
is crazy, right? And on a humanity level, I just always be like, man, personally, I never really hated anybody. I don't want to hate anybody. You know what I mean? But for the life of me, I can't understand why white folk will go to the end of the earth almost to protect this fleeting idea of white supremacy. It's crazy.
So look, and we're getting your perspective, and you're a DC native. Well, not native. You're native New Orleanian.
Resident.
Right.
Yeah,
DC
from New Orleans.
resident.
One time was a 7 Ward.
7 Ward, shout out to all New Orleans folks tuned in with us. All our folks
Yes,
from
sir.
the Ninth Ward, Lower Ninth Ward, Tanya Boyd Cannon, all our people down there in NOLA. RIP to Mardi Gras for us on the Mississippi coast. We ain't got no Mardi Gras.
Oh, I should say though, hey, what's dope is now look, I told y'all the coast ain't, I'm telling you, let me just say it. In New Orleans right now, my mom hit me up because they serious about Mardi Gras, right? It was like we just gonna have people walk by on the streets and everybody they got porches gonna be just throwing beads at people from their porches. Like if you want to do it. So
Talk about doing a neighborhood, like little
little neighborhood joint.
Yeah, distance, like, hey, I'm gonna
Yeah,
throw
that's it.
I'm from Mobile, I'm gonna throw a moon pie at you. I'm gonna try to tag
Oh
you.
yeah, that's see.
Yeah.
But look, we getting your perspective, man. We want to bring in our resident law enforcement expert, the chief himself. I see him. I got him laughing a little bit, man. We're gonna bring in Chief Juan. I know that's what Mac be calling you, but you don't want nobody to call you that. You're like, man, I'm just a regular guy.
Juan Pierre.
Go on, do the spill, man.
Man, I got my Bob Marley shirt on. What you talking about?
Oh shit. Oh shit. And listen,
So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all give it up for old Juan Clark, man. Y'all give it up for Juan.
Oh my god.
Really.
Hey man, we appreciate Juan for being here with us.
He got that Guinness truck.
Man, I wish I had me a beer right now, man. Y'all,
You can have
I prefer beer over here. Really, are you having a beverage with us, man? I mean, we see Juan. He's a regular on the show.
I know, man. Hey, but look, I'm actually doing dry January, man. Jump start off my new year, so I'm actually fasting from drinking right now, fellas. But usually I would be indulgent. You know what I mean?
Damn, man. Why?
Yeah.
Chuck, did you warn him? I feel bad now. We up here.
No. Don't feel bad. You should not feel bad. Yeah, I know Chuck don't feel bad. But no, dry January.
We know
so
Chuck
it's all
don't.
good. Yeah.
So Rilla, I had another question for you right quick. So did any certain interaction stand out to you that you had with somebody that was there? Like you met somebody
Nah, so it's funny. I was talking to this older white lady, and that's why I was mentioning it, because like she was really like, yeah, the country all this socialism and all this stuff like that. And it's crazy because like I think I'm gonna talk about this later on. I might even write an article about it because like to be honest with you, I feel like there's like this false notion of what socialism is. And the crazy part about socialism is that everybody at the top, right? All rich folk are practicing sharing resources, getting richer, doing their thing, right? And feeding to the American public, right? That socialism is not the way to be. They try to they make that a thing because by way of socialism, it decentralizes their power, right? And so now there's this organizing system of people, right, that are coming together, but they're like, no, that's big government, big government, big government. But big government saved the banks. Big government saves your automobile companies. Big government just stripped away your taxes, like AT&T and these larger corporations who ain't pay no taxes. Amazon, they pay no taxes, right? So that's big government. Big government stepping in and going, oh well, we gonna give you a way out. Now they won't look at it like that. They'll say, oh no, man, we're doing the American dream, man. We're climbing the ladder. We had a thing.
Somebody built that business.
Look, man, that's cool. I mean, that's the reality we live in right now. That's the reality.
Now, I'm of the same opinion in terms of there being a false narrative or a misunderstanding of socialism. Because at the end of the day, man, the stimulus check, I mean, everybody wanted it. Po white folk alike, and everybody else included in these United States, United States, USA, whatever. Yeah, everybody wanted the stimulus check. That's socialism.
I would say for everybody that's like pro-Trump, whatever you feel about it, whatever stimulus check you got, return that money. And then what we could do is invest that money in. We can invest that money in the HBCUs. How about that? So if everybody got $1,200 the first time around, right? And 76 million of y'all voted.
Anybody that's pro-Trump and anti-socialism, send it back.
So guess what? If you only got $1, that's $76 million on HBCUs.
Boom.
You can send that back, but you got 1,200 more or more.
Come on.
So we can go and reinvest that since you don't believe in handouts. We don't make you do nothing you don't want to do. We don't make you want to take something you don't want to take. You don't believe in that socialism stuff. You know what I mean? Go ahead, don't worry about it. We know you got a family you got to feed. We know they got the same bills the folks down the street got. We know you got to put food on your table, got to pay your medical bills. We know these things, right? But you don't want no handouts, though. Forget that free Medicaid, Medicare. Forget about Obamacare and all the good things you're benefiting from. Forget about the fact that the roads and everything you invest in is part of socialism, making sure that we pay our fair share of taxes, right? Yeah. Like all of these things that are steeped in the idea of socialism, man. It's actually kind of funny when you think about it, but.
You know what you ain't heard them complaining about? They didn't talk about the part that was even bigger than the stimulus check, which was the emergency funds for food stamps. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month that people were receiving.
Talk to him, Mac.
So that $1,200 was what? They gave you $1,200 for several months, but they were giving you several $100s a month in food stamps that nobody has complained about or said shit. Right,
they out there eating crabs and crawfish every goddamn day,
throwing a whole goddamn
in full effect,
whole party, man. So this topic right here, we're talking about the attack on Capitol Hill, Thug, the hate you give. That's a great analogy for the understanding of what they do. But the second one we're going to talk about coming up is one country, two different worlds. How we got the same laws that govern the whole land. But depending on who it is, it depends on how it's carried out. And like what you just said, this stimulus check, you talking about, I don't want this socialism shit. Well, then get the money back.
Get the money back. Don't worry about it. We'll take it.
Yeah, you don't want it. This is well overdue for money that my grandmother and great grandmother and great great grandmother didn't get paid. Give me all of the shits. All of it. Hello.
We can start reparations right now. Like you can just get that back, and then we can just start the process. You know what I mean? Go ahead and roll right in the HR 40. Let's get it going, dog. Like, stop playing.
Juan, I see you looking. We asked a couple of questions.
Look, man, you all right?
I'm good, man. I'm just listening.
Juan probably crazy, so he hang out with us. That's why. So he fit in. Juan, I would say he does the real shit. You know, he's on folks' ass that don't do right for his crime. He also on folks' ass that supposed to uphold a system and don't do it. And he just cut it straight down the middle. You know what I'm saying? The motherfuckers don't like that. You know, so Warren, give us your perspective. What you thinking so far from what we just talked about? What was your take when you saw them out there?
Well, my worry, first of all, was which I keep hearing about, is the police officers that were supposedly in on it, as well as the public servants, the senators and the representatives. So that's since you got me on as the law enforcement individual, that's I'll take that. And then my secondly is the hundreds of thousands of officers or prior or former officers who vehemently support Donald Trump but also arrest people that look like us and say we did X, Y, Z. But you can't see that this man has been a grifter since he was birthed out of his mother's womb.
He was hatched. But go ahead.
I'm sorry. But so how can you see this, but you can't see that? Not to mention people that I know that currently work for the FBI. Right. Because I used to work with that for 10 years. I worked with the FBI. And you know, I had this story I tell people every time I go in there. I don't mind, you know, in your business place, your place of business, you keep the news on usually a neutral channel, right? You don't have to watch MSNBC and you don't have to watch CNN. But why is it that I will come in every day and have to turn the TV from Fox? When Fox is talking about the president, especially when the president was black, and that president is supposed to be your boss because you work for the president, right? So these are things that they just. So how are we to look at this as Mac titled it? You know, we live in two Americas. It's okay for you to scream and yell and go berserk and harm a law enforcement officer. I mean, Mac talked about this earlier. What happened to Blue Lives Matter?
Yeah. Why did those blue lives matter?
Those blue lives don't matter, right?
And the crazy thing about that is the Blue Lives Matter supporters are the same folk that was fighting the damn officers at Capitol Hill.
That's what I'm talking about. What happened to that Blue Lives Matter? Where why are you hitting the man across the head with the flag?
Right.
A police officer. What happened to that? What happened to peaceful protest?
Man, y'all know it's never about no Blue Lives Matter, All Lives Matter. All that is a way in which to like sidestep the organizing efforts of folks that's behind the Black Lives Matter movement, right? People out here that are allies. And so there's nothing to do with anything but to once again try to come up with some type of narrative or story or whatever it is, some top line messaging to try and be relevant. And that's just what like privilege and entitlement is, right? It's like when you've always been the front and center, and if I move you slightly to the right, not all of a sudden you feel like, you know what though, how do I get back to the center? And so you're gonna fight, scratch, and claw to your way back to the center. And look, sometimes sometimes maybe it will be about you. But when we say Black Lives Matter, by way of just sheer logic, right? Sheer logic. If I say something, it doesn't mean it's the opposite. You know what I'm saying? If I say Black Lives Matter, you don't mean that your life don't matter, right? And we've been through all these different type of analogies where people say if my house is burning or my neighbor's house is burning, well, we need to go ahead and make sure the water gets to their house. Or these people have cancerous diseases, we need to take care of those folks. Why? Because their disease is more terminal, more imminent, right? And so, like, to me, it's never been about that. This is a clear case, because when you got folks that probably was in Blue Lives Matter rallies and all this stuff like that, they the same folks out there that are responsible for five dead United States Capitol police officers.
Yeah, and that's a shame. They killed was a avid Trump supporter. He right. You know, the one that they had him surrounded, he couldn't breathe. He was a Trump supporter. And the thing about it is, you know, for one, it's a whole lot of questions got to be answered, right? There's a whole lot of shit that just got it just don't make no sense. It's like trying to figure out you're trying to figure out a goddamn a disaster. You know, what happened first? You know, did the tree fall over? Did the roof come off? It just everything happened at one time, and you don't know what happened and what caused it. But one thing is clear: they had a damn red carpet rolled out for them to get as far as they did, and for them to be able to not only walk out peacefully. But you see videos of people holding the door open for them after they've ransacked the Capitol.
Yeah.
I've seen the loss prevention specialists in Marshalls chase a motherfucker down the parking lot.
Walmart.
I'm not Walmart, but Marshalls. Right? Yeah, Walmart.
They not supposed to do that though. You're not supposed to lead a store, so that's actually bad. LP is not supposed to lead a store, dog.
I know, but I'm saying
But
our motherfuckers are trained and then do nothing. Come on, man.
So,
really?
That's funny.
Cirilo mentioned earlier that he looked at some of these people's eyes and he saw that they weren't there, that this was a different level of evil, I guess, so to speak. Mac, you kept saying evil. And so just in my profession, I've seen that blank, soulless, hollow stare. You just blessed that you came out of that, in one piece, because those people, they're gone. They're gone. They're totally gone. And somewhere along the way, it's usually it's mother or father issues. And from there, it goes on to, they're just sitting in the house watching the Fox, drinking Budweisers in their flag apparel, saying they're a patriot. But most of them can't get into the military. Most of them can't get into any job where they take a psychological exam. So they're pretty much gone, right? And so they dedicate themselves to a cause, and Donald Trump was the Pied Piper of those people, because he's a serial liar, sex assaulter, and we made him president to make up for the black man that was president. And here we are now.
And that's why accountability, man, is so important, man. Because you have so many things that people are looking at, not just police brutality, right? Not just gunning us down the street, not just like literally gunning us down in front of our kids when we're trying to just like literally be a peacemaker, and then there's no recourse. Now his brother in Kenosha County is paralyzed, not because you gunned us down when we were sleeping like Breonna Taylor, or if you got white supremacists hunting somebody down the street in Ahmaud Arbery. Like literally, like example after example after example you could come up with, and none of these situations should have never happened, right? I mean, like from Laquan McDonald to Freddie Gray, I mean, to Tamir Rice, man. Tamir Rice.
Right.
Right. And like
Nerf guns. We outside playing with Nerf guns.
I just sent policy to a local legislator tonight, right? It took me a while. I've been writing since this summer, but it goes to it speaks about training. It's quite a bit, hiring practices. The reason why the people don't trust the police, things of that nature. Termination practices, fit for duty, right? But I'm a huge proponent of fit for duty, because the more fit I am, the more confident I am in my ability to defend myself and others. So I'm less likely to use lethal force, right? I'm much more likely to throw them hands university, right? Come on. And so, but getting that message out and getting it sent out to the legislators to say, hey, this is feasible, not for me, not to make you look bad. This is for the people who pay your salary. And so getting people to, what I'm having an issue with in politics is I've been researching narcissism in politics, right? And so a young man just he announced for mayor not too long ago here. And I watched the entire press conference on Facebook. And I noticed at the very end of the press conference, he was so nervous he didn't know what to do with his hands, right? To me, to some people, that looks like insecurity. That's not a good thing. To me, it's a great thing. Because it says you don't think you the shit, right? And you might just actually listen to somebody. But somebody who's great, who speaks well, who's well-spoken, who's dressed to the nine and the beard and face and everything lined, then that person is more apt to be more narcissistic and not really listen to sound counsel, because they think they got it all put together. And so I realized that all these years, I researched that people are more inclined to vote for people who are narcissistic, because they're so confident in their ability that ends up being false ability, that they convince us that they're the person, and we vote for that person. That's got to be the person. He's so confident. No, the motherfucker just narcissistic as hell. He ain't shit. He's horrible. He's sorry. I'm sorry I'm cursing like this. But
it's fine.
I mean, you know, hey, this is Nightcap Knowledge, but look, let me jump in here, and it's an aside, but it makes a good point. I've been DJing since I was 17, and I think I'm a better DJ trainer than I am DJ.
Right.
One of the things I would always tell DJs was the moment you are so confident that you're no longer nervous about providing a good experience for the people that you providing that entertainment, that good time, means that you've lost, because it becomes about you. So for me, anytime that I'm doing anything, man, I get a little nervous because I want to make sure that, all right, am I going to be as entertaining as I need to be? But am I going to be true to myself? Are my folks going to be proud of me? Am I putting my best self forward? Am I going to enjoy this? Mm-hmm. So it's like your point one is that we got a problem with putting people out or elevating folks that aren't really the best person that we need for the job. It's just that they look the part.
Yeah, and you know that goes back. Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, that just goes back to, like, you know, what my mentor told me, and I always mention this quote because when I was, like, you know, a little younger, like maybe 12, 13 years ago, 14 years ago, I was always trying to be a leader or something. And he was like, man, why are you always so rushing to be a leader? I was like, like, I feel like I could do the job. And he said, but did anybody ask you? Like, did anybody, like, approach you and say, hey, man, I think you're the right person for the job? Mm-hmm. Or you just felt like you was the right person for the job? I said, well, I feel like I'm the right person for the job. He said, well, at least let me stop you, young man. He said, sometimes true leaders are sought out. He said, if you do the good work, people will seek you out to actually carry on that work and put you in places because they feel like you've done the work in the way in which that was worthy of qualify you as a person of the people, right? And I think that, like, a lot of people lose sight of, like, why you do the work. Yeah. And I think that some people do get lost in the sauce. I think some people get into politics for the right reasons, but they make it about themselves. And, and they lose their reason. They never ask themselves, why am I, who and why did I start to do this for? And I think that becomes just more about them, and then so goes their political career.
Yeah. And to tie all this in, we're talking about the narcissistic, sociopathic, psychopathic behavior that has been exemplified by the highest person in the land, Agent Orange, at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Because if you look at the DSM-5 and look at what does narcissistic, sociopathic behavior looks like, and then you go back and look at some of the things that have been done, then that fits it to a T. Now, all the experts know it. All the experts know, as you talked about earlier, being fit for duty. But it goes about the image that you're selling. No matter how much damage you're doing, you don't want to say you are not fit for duty, right? He's not the first person to be in office that was like that, right? Teddy Roosevelt. Huh?
I say we're going down to the limit. Like, there's conversations about, hey, what can we do to get him out of office because he's not fit,
right?
For office. But hey, we ain't pulling no triggers.
I mean, they know he wouldn't fit, but Teddy Roosevelt used to take bear hunting trips, right? Because he's not the first person that has issues, but his whole life is an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't the right person for the job, and you always want to pull out folks' history and background when it was like President Obama goes back to that one country, two different worlds. Oh, his father was from Nigeria, and where's his birth certificate? Your granddaddy was a pimp. Your daddy was a grand wizard. What in the fuck about that formula says that you will make a great leader of what's supposed to be the free world? Everything you just said was about control.
But the greater issue for me, Mac, is that, like, all right, you got a Joe Biden that says, this is not the America, or this is not characteristic of America, all that bullshit. All right, America. The Americas, like, is the whole the Western Hemisphere. That's one. All right. Then two, the United States, and then you've got the capital districts and all of that. Like, who are we talking about? We talking about white folk that did something wrong, or people who are grouped into this overarching inclusive bubble of whiteness that was made up. They wrong.
Right.
Like, when you try to enslave a whole group of people for a number of years, and then you don't want to atone for those things. And then when these people start to make some type of progress, you make your last grab at power because you scared of what they may become when they start to realize who they are and what they can do.
But here's the thing. I was gonna say, let me make one little point to that. Here's the thing: if this was a society, right, about pull yourselves up by your bootstraps, and you thought, right, and you thought that, hey man, someone will take something from you. I can't take nothing from you if you out here getting on your own. If it's mine, I can't take it. So it's piss poor logic all the way around. How I'm gonna take something from you, right? That's for you. That's you. I don't even care about you. I don't care about what's for me, it's for me, and what's for you, it's for you, and that's all good, right? So you out here fighting for something that nobody even is trying to get.
Yeah.
Like your cause is what?
Right.
What's your cause?
But you had a situation.
They wanted to keep Trump in there. That was their whole thing. We go back to the siege of the Capitol. That's all they wanted to do. They just wanted to keep Trump. They had no other reason.
It goes back to what a brother told me earlier. He was talking about this. He said, what you see is when a person has lost all other options and the fear consumes is when they turn to physical violence, as they done at the Capitol. They are so afraid of losing control. They are so afraid that when the rabbit gets the gun, that we're going to do to them what they have been doing to us for several hundred years, that they will go to all ends. And they felt comfortable in doing it because they have had people in position for hundreds of years that agree with everything they say, but hold position. So why that was so easy for them to get into you can't get into mosque number 78 NOI over there off of Palmyra Street as easy as you got into Capitol Hill.
Hey, bro,
you can't do it unless you got an inside person.
Watch this. While y'all are talking, a commercial came on.
What'd it say?
And they're talking about Beto O'Rourke in Texas is anti-gun. And they're saying on this commercial, text such and such so-and-so and become a First Amendment first responder. And they have only white people holding guns at the pistol range. They're sitting up here shooting. Become a First Amendment, a Second Amendment first responder. This just played on my television. So is this gaslighting or not?
Man, that's radicalizing, right?
Right.
I would say that would be characterized. I mean, isn't that what I'm not an FBI expert, but wouldn't that type of rhetoric be characterized as something that could radicalize a person?
Yes, exactly.
I ain't look, like say, I ain't the highest grade of weed in the dispensary. That shit right there, smoke.
That's it.
That's this right here.
Full
smoke.
Smoke.
That's what that is. By the way, that's a Aston Senorita
cigar.
Not a cigar. Yeah, this is not a. It looked
a
like
blood.
Some weed, a blood. Because my friend gave it to me. I thought he set me up when I got him out of here.
Oh man, if it was, man, at this point, you know what I mean. I also don't know your official capacity, man. I don't want to get people in trouble, but if I say in DC, man,
I know.
You know, it was crazy. Hey. I'm gonna tell you how crazy DC is. I was off Kennedy Ave, right? Off Kennedy Ave. This is northwest, about almost as northwest DC. You can go, right? Uptown DC.
Yeah.
And like this is like my first year in DC, so you know I'm getting familiar with the laws, how people move. You know what I mean? I heard that like weed was or cannabis was decriminalized, but I just didn't know how people were moving with it. I didn't understand exactly what that really meant.
Yeah.
And so, because every state is different, right? And the damnedest thing I saw, it was somebody took a goddamn photo of it. I wish I had my camera on me. I would have took it myself. It's almost like poetry. It was 4 brothers standing on the corner, and they had the DC Metro cop car right behind them, and they just sparking up one on the corner. I said, do you know how many of my homies got ran up on? And people that I know, they got ran up on. People that I don't know, they got ran up on. People that's in jail right now for life or a jail, they got ran up on, right? To see that, I was like, damn, bro, I think I found a home. Like, I felt like DC. I was like, damn. And I'm not even like, you know, I'm not some like, yo, like, let's. but for me to see that and to know that, man, brothers have some type of safe space, and like, don't get me wrong now, DC Metro Police ain't the best, but to see that even be a possibility without being harassed, I was like, damn, bro, we come far. We come far to some degree.
And I want to give folks, like we talk about, especially when you're in the streets and in areas like what we are doing, voter registration is a whole different ball game. And I want folks to understand, if we were not making any progress within a rigged ass system, right? We are playing basketball. I don't know nothing about basketball. My wife is the basketball expert, but we playing basketball in a big ass rim, and we still making shots. And the motherfucker like, hey, y'all cheating, So we still making progress. So I want folks to know that we are still making progress. That's why they are trying so hard to steal it. Every time they shift the needle, every time they change the rules, we adapt to the rules, we overcome, and we're able to be successful. And that what scares them. Is that what scares them the most? Is like, these motherfuckers not stopping. These motherfuckers divided. They ain't on one page, and yet they still giving us hell. Have you ever seen one white man hang one black man in any history book? Never. You ain't gonna never see it. Because they have a natural fear of us, and they use reverse psychology to project that fear onto us.
Come on, psychology, Mac.
That's how they do it. You ain't never seen one incident. But when you start hitting their ass in the mouth, when these racist folks run up on you, like you saw the sister did, right? When you start hitting them in the mouth, whether it be physically or metaphorically speaking, then they back up. Because the bully is not as bad as he portrays until he run up on somebody. We just so used to.
You know what Mike Tyson said?
You know what Mike Tyson everybody got a plan.
Everybody got a plan. They get punched in the mouth. Everybody got a plan. And then, and then it's like, God damn, what I do now? Like, okay, yeah, because not game on.
Matter of fact,
like, I knew what your plan looked like when you thought you wasn't going to get hit. But since now you got that button touch, now let's go ahead and get back to the table on why we here. Let's understand that it's actually, I put my pants on the same way you put your pants on. So understand that, like, I don't give a damn what you talking about. Now that we understand we are coming from the same place, right?
Yeah.
Game on.
Chuck, can you show the video from January 6th where he shot while he was there?
Yeah, most definitely. And as we prepare
I know. I think Juan had a comment too. Oh,
well, go ahead, Juan. I'll get that video pulled up. But before you do that, we want to let folks know, if you're interested in showing off your pride for Black History Month at the gig, collab with us for custom designs for your employee resource group. That's Black with No Chaser. Hit shop at Black with No Chaser, and we will get you hooked up for Black History Month. So, Juan, what you got?
I need you to make our shirt, Chuck, for Citizens of Jackson, COJ, by the way, like ASAP, because we're going to be going out into the streets to be talking to the brothers to get them to stop harming each other. Okay. So we have some of the members kicked around some designs, but I actually need the shirts to be on my body. Like,
all right, y'all got a design already? I can print the design.
We got a design. I'll send it to you.
All right.
I love this.
Hey,
business right.
I like that, man.
Hey,
right
well, Chuck's so busy, he know I always call him and then he don't answer because he's so busy, and then I have to go try to do stuff myself, which usually ends up messed up. But anyway,
man, you ain't never lying. I text Chuck in the morning, right? And I don't get a text back till like 9 p.m. I'll be like, damn, cuz, like, if I really had emergency, I'm like, I don't know what happened.
I need to call on Alexa. Look, I sit that phone down, but Alexa gonna ring. That's what my wife do. Like, my phone be dead, it be on charge. She'll call on Alexa because okay. All right. Well, one, go ahead.
I'm not gonna call your wife. I'm gonna call your wife. Could you please have Chuck call me, please?
Hit me on Alexa on 3-way.
Yes, yeah, but that's a good thing. The brother staying busy. I like that. I don't care. But really quickly, I wanted to tell, since Cirilo mentioned that DC story, I want to tell what hit me in the face as far as policing is concerned, and the fucked up shit I had done since my inception of policing, and then how I came out of that. But I realized it's incumbent upon people like me and my friends that we have deep discussions about what we're supposed to be doing as servants rather than right. And so years ago, wasn't that long ago, my wife had a young man she was helping, and he didn't have any running water, and he stopped going to school because he smelled. His mother was been on crack for years. So we get all this, we get this, we gather our money, we go buy him some new clothes, some new gear and stuff. We get ready to take it to his house. We get to his house, and I go up to the door. When his mother opened the door, it reeked of urine, right? And he actually used to smell like that all the time. Just old urine is horrible. And so I never met his mother, but she tried to sell. This is how bad of a crack addict she was. She tried to sell me a loaf of cheese for $2, a loaf of cheese, right? And so we said, well, I call him, where is Willie? I said, so where is Willie? And she says, he's probably around the corner. Now, mind you, back in my street level narcotics days, I used to patrol this area very hard with my coworkers, extremely hard, right? With prejudice. And we thought we were putting the crack dealers in jail because they selling crack to the mamas and you know, they destroying the neighborhood. So we go around the corner and we see about 6 guys standing up under a street light that was shot out and should have been working but wasn't. And my wife yelled out his name, and he said, "Yes, ma'am." And so we parked a little ways from up the street, so not to scare nobody. And he takes off running, gets in the car, and we drive off. Well, I said, "Hey man, who was that you were standing there talking to?" He said, "That's Tyrone, that's Keith, that's John." And he explains to me each one of them's story, right? He tells me what they were doing, right? They were selling a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Now, John is homeless. His mother and father been dead. He selling a little bit of blow. The other one selling a little bit of weed. The other one doing this, doing that to survive, right? And I told my wife, if this would have been 15 years ago and I would have been at work, we would have rolled up on them with lights out, jumped out of our car, chased them, and because I've done this 100 times, caught them and got their little product and put them in jail. Possession of crack cocaine, possession of marijuana. If you had 10 bags, separately bags with intent to distribute. Never mind the backstory. Right. Never mind the backstory. So when I train police officers, I tell them I've arrested so many people that I'm ashamed of the number of people that I've arrested. Right. And because I didn't understand the backstory, I just did what I was trained to do. Right. To run, jump, shoot, fight, and do that. But what was the outcome? What did I accomplish? Who did I help? Right. Because these people were already hurt. So how did I help them? And then when they get in the system, well, how does the system help? They don't. And so it's when I say it's systemic from the top to the bottom. So that's why when I have an issue with certain people or a certain person, and I say you're the one that controls the academy, what's taught from day one, and what could be taught in there about what we're really supposed to be doing, because it says on the side of those cars to serve and protect, not arrest and prosecute, right? And so there are people that need to be arrested and prosecuted. And hell, it was how many of them out there, Cirilo, that day?
it was 4.
Those people need to be arrested and prosecuted.
He talking about for the Trump protest.
The Trump protest.
He talking about lose his lane, bro.
Lose his lane. It was about I couldn't get the number. I was like 500,000, no 1,000, 2,000. Like no, but no, honestly, man, you know what's crazy is I didn't see they was on front and back side. So I was on the back side of the Capitol. Right here is the back side of the Capitol. Yeah. And so I didn't realize that there was more folks on the front side of the Capitol. Like it was literally people everywhere. I didn't understand exactly in the moment. And I think that kind of sort of maybe I took it for granted exactly what I was walking into. Because like I just went out there, and I went out there coming from running an errand, and I was like, man, I'm about to just pull up. Yeah. I told my lady, and I said, hey, if they got a parking spot right here, we going out there. And sure enough, as fate went, the parking spot. I mean, like literally, I'm like, boom. I said, what? That's a sign. We going out there. Stop playing. And so she's like, all right, cool. She jumped out more ready than me. I got on Birkenstocks and flip flops. I'm like, so we just walking down the street, kind of got a little jog almost, and we finally get to the Capitol, and like as soon as you get there, like there's on East Capitol, and there's a street right there. I believe it's I want to say it's First Street, and it's First and East Capitol. And man, when you on that street and when you come up on it, right, like you can feel the tension immediately heighten. It was like walking up, okay, I'm feeling it, I'm feeling it, I'm feeling it. And then I looked to my left and I seen Buddy like strap up his belt like he was about to like he was. I felt like I was in the hood with white folks. It was crazy because it was like that's some of us like back in the day. Like when you see somebody strap with their belt, like it's time to go. And so like for me, you know, my hood senses, you know, jumped off. I'm like, okay, so this may be a little different energy. Even I expected when I saw that kind of like energy. And then when I looked at a couple of cats in their eyes, man, I knew for a fact, bro, in that moment that it was a little bit different that day. Even if I would have seen Tea Party folks in DC before, that energy was different. It was different on January 6th. I keep saying that, but it's hard to explain because you got to see it to believe it. But that look was different. It was different.
Hey, let me just say this. Let me just say this for you, Chuck, and you all y'all. You seen the meme where Stacey Abrams says the true definition of all right bet, right? Have you seen that? If you hadn't seen it, don't worry about it. Where somebody bet her that she couldn't mobilize Georgia, and she said all right bet, right? When black people say all right bet, Cirilo is the damn walking, talking epitome of
I bet.
Now pull up. You need to make Cirilo a shirt. Say pull up.
If pull up person,
man, pull up.
All these hood dudes and all these tough ass thugs and Negro, you pulled up to 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 people who you knew were most likely against you, and you pulled up. So that's off to you.
I ain't see it that big of a deal at the time, man.
No,
Hey,
that's just
brother.
it. You didn't think it was that big.
Play the video and look behind it. And
this is evidence of the pull up right here.
Play the video.
What you gotta say? Yo, so we live right now and loses lane. So look, we got a lot of folk out here really upset about
it's not playing, Chuck.
Not only they lose the Senate.
You say what now, Matt?
It's not showing.
It's not playing.
Yeah.
Hold up, man. Hold up.
I hear the sound, but
you might have to refresh it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You might have to refresh it. Yeah.
And I started the broadcast in Firefox, and I should have started it in Chrome. So that's on me right there. Got to be more careful, man.
Hey, pull up.
Pull up.
I'm gonna do a Cirilo. When I say that, I ain't gonna say pull up. I say I'm gonna do a Cirilo on you. They ain't gonna know what I'm talking about. What are you talking about? Cirilo? It's a cigar?
I
didn't show up.
Man, you know what's funny, man, is that like I know so many folks, man, in the activist community that really be like that, you know, that go hard, even harder than me. And so sometimes like even having this moment is kind of bittersweet. Like knowing there's so many folks out there who've been doing this work that have accidents, folks that like literally go hungry, homeless, you know what I'm saying, for our people to be free. And so I'm definitely humbled by the experience to kind of be in this position, but you know, whatever, for what it's worth.
Oh, there you go. I think Chuck got it.
He has racism and bullshit ideology. So look, stand back, man. Get a care view of the goddamn country. We looking like, nah, look, and there's some black folks out here storming the Capitol. I remember once upon a time we had black men in suits out here in the cold. It was 6 of us in the cold, standing on these steps, and we couldn't even get up 4 steps before they came holler at us in suits. These motherfuckers out here got over 500 to 1,000, 2,000 people out here and stormed the goddamn steps, pushing against security guards, right? U.S. Capitol Police. They would have been fucking shot on arrival if they were black folk, right? So not only looking at privilege and racism in America, but you're looking at the biggest fucking entitlement known to man right here in front of you, folks. Live and direct right here from Washington, D.C., man. This is actually, when you look at this shit, man, you gotta love freedom of speech, but you gotta love the bullshit, man, that's going on in this fucking party. They don't know what to believe right now. They don't know if they should be giving out $2,000 stimulus checks. They don't know if people should have health care. They really don't fucking know. You know what they do know? Entitlement and fucking privilege. This is what we're dealing with right now. It's 2021, y'all. 2021. 2021.
And all them damn people.
Hey, I'm about to get your contact information, Cirilo. I need some
Hey,
old
man.
to see you. I need some old grown folks, some old grown preachers to see you and to say what you're supposed to be doing, brother. You doing
Man,
the
I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I look back on the video. I'm like, you know, I wish I didn't curse so much. You know what I mean? There's definitely a lot of F-bombs thrown around in there.
Hey,
But I will say in the moment, man, when you on the ground, it wasn't really about like being politically correct. It was just
Yeah.
like raw emotion. Like I just feel like, man, I've been a part of like some amazing campaigns and like travel around the country, and never in my life, never. And I'm cool with the banter and going back with before between progressives and conservatives and having like a nice healthy debate about about the policies that that are on the table right now, the policies that's already enacted, that will be enacted, that will maybe repealed, whatever the case may be. But when you get to this level of like, like anger and partisan, like the way our country is running right now,
Yeah.
like we are operating at a very, very, very low frequency. And I believe in like frequencies and not to get all that, crazy stuff like that, because a lot of people don't believe in it. But when you at a low frequency, you at a death frequency. And I feel like now, right, because the communication is silent, we can't talk to each other. We are dead as a country. You know what I mean? And it's going to take a lot of folk, everybody on this call, and everybody in communities all across this country to really wake up and realize that we all in this thing together. We are literally in this thing together. When we go to the hospital, nobody's asking, man, are you black? Are you white? Man, I don't know, man. They got, no, are you sick?
What's your blood type, man?
What's your blood type? Can you save somebody? You're a donor, right? When we talk about when our troops are on the battlefield in these foreign countries, even right here, right now, fighting domestic terrorism, nobody's asking any questions to the person on their right or their left. You know what they care about? Hey, we on a common, like we have a goal in mind, we have a mission in mind, right? And I think that part of that mission here, I mean, not part of it, but it has to be rooted in like in the awakening of humanity in this country and recognizing that in all people. And so like that's why it's kind of like frustrating, like having these type of debates about like skin color and whether or not because you from here, you from there, or like you part of this party and you part of that party. Like stop it. It's time to put that to bed, man. Start living a little bit and thriving instead of just merely surviving in America. And I keep saying that like it's a damn beating a dead horse, but it just is what it is. And the facts are what they are. And until people start showing me different, and I work myself out of a job, I'm gonna still be on these streets pulling up. If you're in my backyard every single time.
That is. Well, look, Rillo, man, we appreciate you for being here. One, we appreciate you for being here.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate each of our viewers out there, everybody that's on YouTube, on Black With No Chaser, and on the Nightcap Knowledge page. We appreciate y'all. Leave something in the comments. You ain't got to do it right now. I know some folks, you might have political affiliations or jobs and things like that, and you may be, viewing out there, and you just want to wave and wave your hand. Hey, wave your hand. Do that. Shout out to Arthur.
Wave your hand. Just can't say nothing. Just wave your hand.
Yeah, do that. You ain't got to get in the comments, and we appreciate everybody that checked in with us. And we got Andrew Vincent. It's almost as if white folks think that minority populations aren't treated fairly in this country, and they are scared. Who knew? All right, Andrew Vincent. It sounds like you've been paying attention and listening in.
Old late CJ.
Yeah. CJ.
What it do?
What it do? Man, we out here, we in these streets, and Rillo pulling up on folks, and Mac, he got them hands waiting on them, and just in case, some shit pop off, man. Yeah, we got law enforcement.
I left them ashes so they can punch and cut at the same time. Hey, Chuck, you got those other flyers that I sent you?
The flyers? Ooh. I got those memes that you sent me.
Yeah. I want to dive into that. Don't go nowhere, Warren. Shit.
So I mean, which one you trying to start with? You want to
go back to the police officer one?
The police officer one. Hold on. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. So what we were just talking about, the one country and two different worlds. This is not a fake scenario. This is real life description of what happened throughout the summer when you seen the march for, especially with George Floyd. And that's how people that were peacefully protesting were met. And actually, Agent Orange, because he wanted, I don't know how he was able to keep his hands on that Bible, wanted to march and walk. He had state capitol police and other folks to spray mace on innocent bystanders just so they can clear the path for him, right? So this is what happened to people that were doing nothing but exercising their freedom of speech and freedom of assembly. And look at the bottom. The bottom, now the officer that we saw that was running through the steps, we understood why. He was actually risking his life to protect the other folks, right? That they hadn't got a chance.
The actual
path. So he led them away. But there was other officers and folks that was there. But it's just showing you when they opened up the barricades and let them in. They let them in walking through the Capitol with Trump flags and Confederate flags, and police stood by. You know, it's a difference now. It's a difference if you're doing peaceful protests outside, but that's not allowed inside of that facility. And they allowed them in there. So I posted this, I said, pictures, speak 1,000 words. And this is the norm. And I always talk about normalized chaos. This is the norm that we've seen in this country for years. You know, you pass by and you see a white guy get pulled over and he jump out and start talking to the officer and start talking to the state trooper. We can't even move fast to even get your wallet, to even get what you need. And so we just talk about how they're met. You antagonize a situation. And from one of the black reporters was saying that every time there's an assembly there in Capitol Hill, they're not no stranger to a protest, but they usually always have it barricaded and they're prepared. This time they wasn't. They were not prepared. They were not dressed in like the top guy was in a lot of the occasions.
Oh, in the tactical gear and all of that. But from some reports that I've read, they actually turned down assistance that was offered.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Something that you never do. You never turn down assistance ever.
And the governor kept trying to call in the National Guard, and the Pentagon never gave him the green light. Who has that capacity to stop that?
Well, of course, you already know. I mean, come on.
Right. We already know, but it goes back how deep this thing is.
Yeah.
And when you talk about we trying to create a fair playing field, when you know the person that owned the club, of course you can smoke weed in it. They ain't gonna put you out. You know the owner. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you got going on in this type of scenario. You're not caring about the security guard or the manager. Hell, the club owner is your homeboy. It don't matter what the fuck they say. You know you're not worried about anything happening to you.
Yeah.
The guy that was running around looking like a half-naked Daniel Boone with the damn thing on his head, he has a special diet.
That buddy, he the goofiest one. First of all,
he's a failed actor that lives at home with his mama, for one.
You got your mama out here on Twitter talking to reporters, talking about they don't want to feed my son organic food. Ma'am, with all due respect, right? Okay. Ain't nobody worried about your son got no goddamn organic. You better be lucky he got a damn meal right now. He be watching his ass every single day while he in that thing.
But you know he got it.
Hey,
you know he got it, right?
Yeah, he got it.
Yeah. The judge approved it. Look,
man, shout out to Eugene. Shout out to Eugene Goodman, man. I don't even want to talk about play no more. Shout out to Eugene Goodman, because the brother's hero. He led all the white supremacists / because they say all of them not white supremacists / pro-Trump supporters away from members of Congress and staffers on the day. The brother was not actually running. He was actually, it was a tactical maneuver that allowed members of Congress and staff members to remain safe that day.
He kept pushing the guy.
Thank you so much, Eugene. You a hero, brother. You're a hero.
What they call that, bro? What they call that? That's like is that? I know it's tactically sound, but like he was diffusing the situation, but he kept their attention. And I know y'all be talking about something to where you want to take the involved parties and separate them.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what they call it, but I just was telling you what I told Mac what I would have done, and it goes back to particular officers and particular career, what paths that they followed in their career. And my career is marred in violence. And, violence will beget violence for me. And that's just how my brain, I never thought like that before 1995. So if I'm protecting you, I'm going to deliver violence. I have a course I called Delivering Violence and Accepting Violence, right? Matter of fact, Chuck, you did the flyer, right? If you deliver violence, you should be able to accept violence, right? And so I'm not gonna say some violence would have got delivered, but if I'm protecting you, a lot of us officers don't think to do that tactical movement, which was good. He was good. That was good to think on his feet. But then the flip side of it is he might not have really wanted to harm them. You know, that's the other side. And whether they were white or whether they were black, from a human standpoint, I think Cirilo mentioned that the humanity standpoint is he didn't want to harm them. Yeah. Right. And we keep forgetting that. And the humanity is we are all humans. It's not white or black human. We're all humans. And that's what they're forgetting. It's not.
Yep.
We are all disconnected. We're not a Republican or a Democrat. We're a damn human.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chuck, you so damn boy, you silly boy. Hey, Juan, you started going out every time, like folks be going out, right? We used to do this on the Black lunch break. And like people be talking, and when your stuff be kind of messing up, everybody be looking like this. like, hey man, you good over there? The internet's hating on you, brother. They're hating. Nah, I'm glad you made it back, man. Glad you made it back. Shit.
Yeah, but that's one. You make a great point. With you know, picking out those things that show one the difference between you know, those of us who are able to recognize humanity and say mentally, I'm going to do this. So I see this person. I know that this person means me harm and other people around me. They also mean them harm, but I'm going to diffuse the situation, draw this attention towards me so that I might save these other folk over there or prevent them from meeting any harm. So, man, you know, I think, you know, in terms of, you know, one successful situation out of this is we can see that we got some people out there, and he might have been running scared, but at the end of the day, that, you know, fear and narcissism don't exist in the same place. So that brother was like, all right, I got to do my job. I want to do my job. I want to protect these people, and I'm gonna do my best to lead these folk this other way. So I look at that as a point of success in that, and a point of good policing.
Yeah, we don't do that. We don't think that the guy that did what he did is a hero. We think the guy that would do what my knee-jerk reaction would do would be to send shots down range is a hero. That's the easy part. That's easy. The hard part is to think under those circumstances, say, you know what, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to lead these people away from where the people I'm supposed to protect are. And so that's just how, but again, even with me in 25 years, that shows you that I still have a little bit of that programming in me, especially even being on SWAT. Because when you're on SWAT, when we hit a door, once we hit that door, pretty much all bets are off, right? When we go in there, we don't go in there a lot of times before we were ready to go, you know, and it takes a certain type of person and a certain mindset to know you're going in a dangerous situation where you can be harmed. Yeah. Just to harm somebody else. It's actually kind of fucked up if you think about it. It's kind of a messed up way to think, because you can be harmed too, right? So all of that has to be taken out of the whole system and the whole scenario. All of that has to be taken out. And the issue that I'm having with that is talking to people that I thought would be more positive about taking this stuff out because they did this, waved the black fist or whatever. They're not taking it out. They just like, hell, they just like dump. And that's disappointing to me. But, you know, I'm becoming accustomed. It's normal for me now. It's normalized disappointment. I'm disappointed again.
Hey, man, look, like this flyer right here, what you thought you had and what we really had. And, you know, we got it.
That's a great
ice glacier effect in 2020 with the pandemic. Folks showed you who they truly were. And we started talking about learning. We went back to the education system, and we were talking about how we started learning about our history on that flyer. What will history teachers tell the children what happened on January 6th, right? How do they explain it? How do they explain it? I don't know. But guess what? I remember watching the verdict with our boy the Juice with OJ, and when they gave that not guilty verdict, because we watched the whole. I mean, we probably shouldn't have. We watched the whole damn trial on TV at school, and our white band director knocked over all the bandstands and walked out because what he saw was a black man got away with killing a white woman. He got away with it. But it's hard for us to understand what it feels like when we see one of our brothers, our sisters, when we see a child being killed, and we're not supposed to empathize and see that as being one of our family members or being us, right? And we see how they take and start educating us about what narrative they want us to believe versus what the truth and what the reality really is. And that's why this platform is so important, where we can have real shit and talk about it and say it. There's a picture, we ain't gonna even get into the details about Bill Cosby and what you feel about him, but understand this. He was too old. They said he wasn't too old to go to jail. But Carolyn Bryant is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand.
White female fragility, bro.
And you are the auntie of the past governor of this state. And they got you in hiding. They got her in hiding out of fear for her life after you lied. Right. And started a whole shitstorm of events behind it. And she's still alive to this day. And they never had any conversation about convicting or doing anything with her, right? And I tell us, don't get distracted by, we got some folks that look like us and from our community that don't do right. But they always going to divert our attention to pay attention to something else. So you won't start asking questions about more serious things, things that are more important to us. Why were certain things? Sometimes it's not what folks say, is what they didn't say.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that explains about what happened on January 6th and what's going to continue to happen. There's news reports out. I don't know how you brothers feel about the Second Amendment, but I'm just letting you know that there's news reports out that they're supposed to be doing armed protests in all 50 states at the Capitol on the 16th and on Inauguration Day. So I'm just letting folks know that that has been, and Warren, I know you was talking about this earlier. You might be able to share a little bit more light to it, but they are expecting, from chatter, what they've been hearing, what folks have been saying, armed protesters in all states, and some of the capitals of those states are like Jackson, is predominantly black. So we want to make sure everybody be safe. Warren, you got any follow for that?
No, actually, I just realized I crossed my arms because I'm not comfortable with anybody around me with guns other than me. Especially if they're being volatile. I don't. Joe Biden has not been sworn in, and this narrative that Biden is going to get rid of all the guns and take your guns and all this stuff. There are people like us that aren't gun. I'm not a gun nut. First of all, I'm not a gun fanatic. I'm not a gun nut. I own a few guns. I teach people how to shoot. I have a firearms training company, but I'm not out there. I don't have to make love to an AR-15, right? Matter of fact, the person who invented the AR-15 says it's to only be used during wartime, right? That's the type of weapon that is. So, I'm first of all, I'm them hands university, because if I can throw them hands, I can get your gun.
Yep.
Right. But I noticed that even when a lot of my students that I train, or a lot of I'm trying to be politically correct. I noticed some of my not all of them, some of my Caucasian students, they're physically out of shape, and they think that gun makes them a man. Right. The gun does not make you a man. It's just a tool. And so
sound
that's
like George Zimmerman.
Right. I think exactly. I think that's why a lot of people, and since you're talking about this, Mac, I have to keep my manhood, and my manhood is not between my legs and my head and my ears. I went out. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I think somebody got something playing in the background. I was trying to make sure it wasn't.
That's not me. My manhood is not between my ears and in my loins. My manhood is in this rifle that I hold, and you're taking away my manhood. I'm not gonna let you take away my manhood. this makes me and the only thing that they have to their excuse is the government is going to take over the country and make us do things that we don't want to do. So we need to keep our guns to fight the government, right?
Yeah,
bro.
And that couldn't be the
Dog.
farthest thing from the truth.
And you know what's crazy about this whole attachment, like white men and guns and violence, right? This is really like a part of like, you know, how they really did things back in the day when they enslaved black people. You know, because black people that's not who they were fighting with, right? They were fighting with amongst each other. And so they had to figure out a way to kind of like, how do we come to terms or grips if you wronged me? And so it really became about who got the biggest gun, who's the sharpest shooter, who's this, who's that. And so, you know what's crazy? Chuck, I mentioned this book on air with us before, called The Half Has Never Been Told. In that book, I swear to God, everything that you possibly want to know, I would say, and I don't know everything about that time period, but I would say that a lot of it, especially as it pertains to the United States, right? White men literally, that's all they did was handle everything. It was really, it was a you know what measuring contest. If you wrong me, you touch my lady, right? This very patriarchal, toxic masculine, hyper masculine type of like energy and culture, and that's kind of like, it's really, if you think about, if you believe that generational poverty, wealth, and like trauma has been kind of passed down from black folk generation to generation, then you have to, the same has to be said for this very hyper masculine, toxic masculine kind of way of handling things, where my masculine is attached to my gun. So that generational pathology of being passed down from generation to generation, how you handle your business, that's probably, I would make a straight face argument that that's part of the reason why, especially a lot of white men attach their manhood to the gun.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah.
Well, you know, so in 2003, 2004, they had a Senate bill here called 2239, which was called, we call it the Ghetto Bill. And what they wanted to do was label kindergartners habitual offenders. And we had a white conservative Republican legislature. She said that she know what it's like. She taught in those ghetto schools in Memphis. We need this type of language. In the same committee meeting, two white men who are lawyers, who were also senators, got up. One told the other one to shut up, and they almost got into a fight. Right. And we were like, if this were our children, they'd be expelled from school. Right. Yep. Guess what happened Wednesday night? Wednesday night, there was almost a fight in the chambers because everything got heated and they were calling folks out. They had to almost have folks removed. They almost got into a physical fist fight because one was telling the other one to be quiet. Your man, that it's, you know, I say this a lot from working with young brothers, especially that's been in the PRTF and psychiatric treatment facilities, that it's so fragile that you take everything as an insult. And even you, by showing up with your shirt, oh, well, you insulted me. We've seen this lately in the pandemic with folks that they feel insulted because you're wearing a mask, and my mask protects you, your mask protects me, and you feel insulted. You know, they had a county official that told a black lawyer that. You know, so there've been a lot of posts been put out here, man. But look, we digress. I want everybody to be safe. Mississippi Move is going to be doing voter registration drives every month, and we're going to be doing more.
Afterwards, I don't want no hard feelings.
I know that was Chuck. And that was Harlem Nights, Della Reese.
You done insulted me, and I got to kick your ass right now. And afterwards, I don't want no hard feelings.
That used to be back in the day. Now you used to get into a fight and have a beer, have a drink. Not today.
Hey, I did that for real. It was just perfect.
Hey, bro. Yeah, bro. Hey, man. I'm gonna do that anyway, man. Cause that's what, honestly, that was probably that phrase right there got me through half of the pandemic. Like, just, can I hear one time for the people, man?
Oh, I'm gonna do that anyway. Because that's how I am.
That's how I am, man. Stop playing. I'm gonna pull up on you anyway. That's how I am.
Hey, man, look, we appreciate y'all for checking in with us. This has been a Nightcap Knowledge. We had Cirilo, We had my man Juan, Mr. Mac, DJ George, Chuck. Man, it has been definitely a good conversation. Mac, who we got coming up next week, or what we got coming up next week?
Well, I'm still working on that, lining all that up. I want to make sure that we can get into some in-depth conversation, and I guess we're going to look at how the turn of events go this weekend to see where we're going to end up at for this Tuesday. But we're going to prepare for, information talking about, of course, the Wednesday with the inauguration. That'll be one of the topics. The other thing will be, talk about history that's being made. But we were determined that the main topic, depending on what transpires this weekend. So we just want everybody to be safe, be prepared. Remember what the old pimp said: if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. What is understood don't have to be explained.
If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Don't be sorry, ho. Be careful. Hey. This has been Nightcap Knowledge. We appreciate y'all for checking in with us, man. You already know what it is. Them Hands University support black colleges, HBCs versus everybody. Hey, and put one in the air. Marley Marl. Let's get it, baby.
Tune in every Tuesday at 9 p.m. for Nightcap Knowledge. Put the children to bed, get your adult beverage, and get ready. Nightcap Knowledge is rated black and uncensored and hosted by longtime community organizer and entertainment professionals, Mr. Mac and DJ George Chuck. Real talk, real issues, real solutions. Nightcap Knowledge.
Chaser.
Peace out, everybody. We appreciate y'all for checking in with us. We'll see y'all next week, 9 p.m.